Thank you. Where are you going? So, I'm Reverend Carla McClellan. Do you remember Becky Whitehead was here to help you with your mission, your vision, and your core values? Well, she named me the spawn of Unity Ministers, and I've claimed that because it just makes me laugh. And enlightenment is about lightening up. So often we get so serious, and we think in order to be deep and spiritual that we have to be serious and solemn. And I know that I'm coming alive if I'm laughing. I know you're hearing me if you're laughing or you're crying. So that's my goal. Laugh, cry, and let's have fun. Joy. I love that on your vision you mentioned love and joy and peace. That's so important. So transitions. Why the heck am I called to be a transitional specialist? I'm certified through the International Interim Ministry Network, which means any theology, any communities, church community I can go into, because transitions aren't about theology. Transitions are about our humanity. And we all go through many, many transitions in our lifetime. So yesterday, what we did is we set a sacred container here as we explored what has happened, where we are, and where we long to be. What are we called to be next? And I love that you have claimed that you're going to be a spiritual co-op. Because guess what? We don't have many of those. In fact, I'm not aware that we have any in Unity. So you are going to be way showers. You're going to put your Christ light in expression in the world to be a way shower of what is possible in spiritual community. And we have shifted. We have shifted from minister-centric, where minister was the leader, to mission-centric. And that's a change that not many people are familiar with. What the heck does that mean? Does mission now lead us? It does, but not as a personality. It leads us as a concept to pull us forward to where we long to go. So we started yesterday by saying the affirmation, we are a field of divine love, guided by purpose, anchored in peace. We are a field of divine love. We are a field anchored in purpose and anchored in peace. Nothing is against us. Now take that in. Nothing in life is against you. Everything is for you. That is spiritual principle. So that's a deep swallow, isn't it? Everything is for me. That I lost my glasses this morning on my way to church, that's for me? Oh, great. So I can see how good my vision is. And I am enthusiastic about where our vision is taking you. So while primarily focusing on the story of our spiritual community, we looked at trends and unfinished business. We looked at the personality, the DNA of who we are right now. And we looked at the shadow, who we are unconscious we are. Those hidden beliefs that we all have, whether we admit it or not, or accept it or not. Our shadow is being called in this world that we're living in today to be integrated into our wholeness. So we are personality, we are shadow, and we are primarily spiritual beings having a spiritual experience on a human level, guided by spiritual laws. That's what I love so much about Unity. So I was born into the movement. I was told I would do great things, which scared me to death because I thought, give me a hint. But what I was told was inside of me was so much potential that as I connected with the wisdom, the love, the laughter, the enthusiasm, the life that was within me, I could go through everything and anything. So I will share with you, first I was a dental hygienist, and then I became a minister. My parents were the retreat directors at World Unity when it was 200 to 400 people. And I had an experience when I was in college of working the family retreat, working with the kids, and I thought, I am having so much fun. Could I do this? And then I thought, what would I talk about every Sunday? And as my friends will tell you, she never shuts up. It just keeps going and going and going. So back to what transitions mean for us as a spiritual community. It's about honoring the past. We murmur about the past, don't we? We have opinions about the past. We have judgments about the past, but we're here to honor the past for what Sean Moniger did for you for 19 years is exceptional. It's exceptional. And we honor you, Sean. We're grateful for your service. We stand upon the legacy that you started here. And we promise to move forward and making you a part of who we stand upon. So we honor the past, and then we awaken to right here, right now, the present moment. So the past makes up who we be right now, but it also calls us to conscious awareness of possibilities. So when, I forgot your name. Nancy, I'm so sorry. When she said, I am humble, what I asked everybody to do is, who are you willing to be in order to produce an extraordinary result out of this interaction? What we know from unity practice principles is who we claim we are, we be. So don't ever say, I am old. Don't ever say, I don't know enough. We are here on a journey to learn. As long as we are breathing, we are growing and learning and becoming the inspiration for others. So, transitions have 3 phases: endings, the wilderness experience, and new beginnings. So, in my humble opinion, having been through a lot of churches in their transition period, you're pretty well through with the endings. That's what the healing felt like yesterday. It's done. We're over. We are wandering in the wilderness. Do you remember the story of Moses in Exodus? Do you remember? Have you heard of that story? Are you awake?
Yes.
So, remember Moses led the Israelites from slavery into the promised land. But Moses didn't get to go into the promised land. So the past is not to be, it's to be honored and celebrated, but not to be brought forward into new beginnings. There's a shift that needs to happen for everybody as you go forward. So in the wilderness, remember how the people murmured all the time for 40 years? They were given exactly what they needed each and every day by God. But they soon forgot that because it wasn't enough for them. They needed more. They needed something else to worship, something that they could see and touch and feel. And we're called to a faith beyond what we can see and touch, but we can feel. And with that faith, we can go forward. So the story of Moses and Exodus is a very good place for us to, a metaphor, for us to look at this transition we're going through. So Moses led them away from slavery. What is leading us forward through this transition? What was our plague? Do you remember? COVID? It wasn't just for us here. It was a global pandemic. And people were trapped and limited and told what they could and couldn't do, what they had to wear, how they had to be. And after all that time, 2 years, at least, wasn't it? 2 years that we were isolating ourselves. We came alive again, wanting something different than what we had. So COVID was a global plague that woke us up to what's next? Now what? And in doing that, you begin a shift. So, through that shift, you wanted to expand your community in a way that every voice was heard, that you were all part of leading into the future. And in doing that, we're grateful that endings are sacred. They're not failures. They are compost for our growth. We cannot move forward without reverence for what has shaped us. So our affirmation, I'll say once and then I'll say it with you again so you can repeat it. I bless the past and release it with gratitude. Let it go. I bless the past and release it with gratitude. Reverend Ann.
So, Carla referred to us as a spiritual co-op coming out of the endings that we experienced during and after COVID. It is a whole new concept. As your minister of record, I'm not here every Sunday, but my role is to support you anytime you need it, with email, a phone call, a Zoom meeting.
A prayer.
A prayer, anything the community needs. I have to tell you, I don't get a lot of that. And at the beginning I wondered, and the more I've gotten to know you in my time with the prayer chaplains Friday, I realize the high spiritual consciousness of this co-op.
Yeah.
You are way showers. You are blazing a new trail, just like those Israelites that Moses led out of the wilderness. So what you have done, whether you're aware of it or not, as I've witnessed your unfolding, is you've leaned into the spiritual teachings, the spiritual principles that Sean ingrained in you so deeply and so well. So that's what we're going to focus on as we do some strategic planning in the coming weeks and months to go forward, as we figure out what it is to be a spiritual co-op. And I'm thinking that UWM is going to be paying close attention to
I
this.
guarantee, because I've got a mouth and I talk.
So there are all sorts of unlimited possibilities through the myriad of divine ideas that is present, not only in this room today, but in the community as a whole. And our outreach continues to happen. So think of the lives that we're going to touch. Think of the lives we touch without even being aware of it. So kudos to the work that you're willing to do, for the presence that you're willing to be in the world.
Oftentimes we need some sort of a device to remind ourselves what principles are. When life happens, how do we practice principles? So look at your hand. God is, I am. The truth is, I pray, I sit in the silence, and then I act as God directs. You are very lucky to have this young lady here with you because she's a prayer practitioner from Michael Beckwith's church. So she was taught a very specific way of praying. And now unity and religious science have melded together and written a book called Your Divine Identity, where both forms are brought together in a powerful new way. So when you're interested in an affirmative prayer, write down your divine identity because it just brings it alive. I remember one New Year's Eve, I was at my church, and at that time my church was 1,200 people. And in walked someone that was just shaken to the core. I could feel it energetically. And I said, "How are you tonight, Chris?" And she said, "Well, I've just been told my husband has 4th-stage cancer and not long to live." What came through me as the prayer, I can't tell you the words, but 30 years later, she remembers them. We can affirm for each other the truth of who we are. And in that believing that truth, that putting our faith into action, changes everything. The vibration, like your God vibration, I love that. So the wilderness is a scary time for a lot of people. You know, that's where we play the what if. What if this, what if that, what if, what if, what if, what if? Do we have enough? How do we get more? And we get more. Oh, it's 11:11. We Thank you, God. We get more by giving ourselves away. We get more through giving rather than worrying about what we're getting.
Who we are is revealed. It's not an achieved thing. It's not something, it speaks to our evolution, our continual evolving and unfolding the truth of our being. And for each of us, that's unique, and yet it feeds each of us, doesn't it? It feeds me to be here with each of you, to hug you, to talk with you, because I get something that enriches me from being with each of you. So just remember, it's not achieved, it's revealed from moment to moment, day to day.
It's by staying in touch with who you are called to be. It is being willing to be exactly where you are, whether it's pissed off.
Piss off, is that?
Or in a state of bliss. Where you are is right where you're called to be. And by touching in with that pain, you break open and so much more light will shine through. My first 6 months of ministry, my mother died, my brother I was closest to died, and my 27-year-old daughter died. The first 6 months I was in ministry. And I thought, well, this is a dumb plan. What kind of God would bring forth a plan like this? And I saw how I had sacred contracts with each of them. I felt their presence still with me. My dad whispered in my ear, "Practice the principles. Don't preach them unless you can prove them." And I thought, wow, there's a way to go forward. So we all know. We all have opinions. We all have judgments. We all think our opinions need to be heard. But there's also a way of knowing the truth of who we are, and we're all one. And so in that oneness, in that love, in that peace, in that joy, we can get a divine idea. Unity is ancient wisdom, and a new thought. It's not a new thought in the world, it's a new thought to you. It's waking up to the message you are getting inside of you. The urging that your soul is saying, come on, take a step out. We're not here to be comfortable. Did you know that? Can you tell me a teaching that says we're here to be comfortable? Because I've looked for it. And I haven't found it yet. We are called to step off the edge of our knowing and leap into the unknown. But here's an important fact. Don't do it alone. Don't do it alone. Grab the hand of somebody that will believe with you, that will be caught or will fly or will be carried to the next stage. Join hand in hand. That's what a spiritual co-op means to me, is together we can enter the field of unlimited possibilities and choose one possibility that we can demonstrate in physical reality.
I think that co-op idea is also expressing our ability and desire to co-create with spirit. Not to necessarily make something happen. Once in a while we do, but it's just to allow whatever is there to emerge through our alignment with our own divine identity, because what are we? We are each divine, and through the principles and teachings that we've been taught so well. It's not really tangible, it's not linear, it's not anything you can wrap up in a pretty box with a bow. It just emerges organically. And I think we're finding a little bit of that here.
Absolutely. Because in the wilderness, we awaken not to answers, but to presence. And one thing I know from spending 6 hours with y'all yesterday, or maybe even longer, it might have been 8, is that you appreciate the presence of something greater than the chatter of your mind or the emotions that you're holding in your body, that you are that vibration of presence. So now we enter into new beginnings.
So in Exodus, the Israelites go over into Jordan and they have a vision at Sinai. They're not just escaped slaves, but a people of purpose. Are you all a people of purpose?
Yes.
Yes. I would give that a resounding yes. So I feel that we are all being called to a greater purpose beyond even the space that we meet in every Sunday. Your board is focused on how do we share this message we have? How do we share this purpose, our principles in our teachings? Because we believe the world really needs it. Not just Norwalk, but it's bigger than Norwalk. I think COVID taught us this when we were coming out. We are a worldwide web, and it has more to do with the world now than we used to call the internet. It's bigger. The internet was one of the tools we use, but there's so much potential, and you are sensing that, and you are trying to step into that. You are trying to give it a spiritual direction, which the world sorely needs right now.
And social media is dangerous.
It is, yeah.
For our kids and for us. For what we put out in social media is shot down by negativity and judgment and unfair opinions. And so we need to be walking social media. Do you get it? We are beings of light and love. Let's walk our talk. That's what authenticity is. That's what integrity is. Two of your core values. Walk our talk, spread the joy, spread the love. And I'm telling you, you don't have to proselytize to people. I had an experience for 5 years where I was on TV in Kansas City on a local TV show. And they said, oh, Carla, we can't use you because, you've got that religious stuff. And I said, I'm about living a life of meaning. And to live a life of meaning, you have to know and feel and get support to feeling your purpose. I'm about living a life that means something to me and to other people. And it was interesting. I was on there for 5 years, and it was a wonderful experience for me to use our principles in a way that wasn't preaching, but encouraging, empowering, inspiring people. That's our message. And you'll each do it in your unique way.
So the promised land is not really a destination. It's a way of being in covenant with our purpose, being true to that, grounding in that. It's what keeps us in our lane, so to speak, and not just go in every direction, which is what we're really going to have front and center as we unfold our idea of a spiritual co-op.
So I say to you all, thank you. Thank you for inviting me here. Thank you for showing me who you truly are. Thank you for allowing me to have this experience this weekend. And I trust I'll hear many good things in the future. God bless you all.